All right, welcome to another edition of Chatterbox Clicker. It's a sad day. I know it's a sad day. Obviously, the big breaking news is not only did the Bengals go to Baltimore and get beat, Joe Burrow has some torn ligaments in his wrist, in his throwing hand, and unfortunately, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. I know that's not the news anybody wanted to hear. Obviously, as a coach, I can tell you right now, you never want to hear about a player getting hurt. Man, I'll tell you, it's one of those things, man, where if a player really, it doesn't matter if it's Burrow or Mark Andrews for Baltimore or whoever it is, like you hate to see somebody have a season-ending injury that is one of those injuries that's going to take them out for a while. So, especially good people. Joe Burrow's an upstanding citizen, obviously, but also a really good football player. So, obviously, it's a big loss for the Bengals, but I do want to point something out here. And this is something that Bengals fans have got to keep in mind right now, especially in this time of grieving in which you're in right now. There are still a lot of really good players on this team. And T. Higgins should come back soon. But if you put all that talent in there and you build it around a quarterback or a system that allows those players to keep playing, at some point those players are going to make plays. And again, those players have made plays to, while Burrow was kind of half hurt. So, if Browning or A.J. McCarron comes in and whoever ends up being the guy when it's all said and done, as long as those guys around them are playing and that defense kind of comes back around to playing what they normally can play, which I'm not real sure what the whole issue is with the defense right now, but once they come back around, it can be something. Now, let me tell you a personal experience of mine, and then we'll get into the film. When I was with the Bengals, I was a running back coach. It was 2015, and I know the way it ended wasn't great. I understand that. But on December 13th of 2015, the Bengals went into the game against the Steelers at 10-2. Okay, 10-2. And that was one of those games that we were rolling down the field, first drive of the game, and Andy goes down and he breaks his thumb. And he broke his thumb because we threw an interception on a little quick Spider 3 screen pass to Gio, and he tried to make the tackle, and Tuitt, I don't know if you remember Tuitt, the big D lineman for Pittsburgh, hit his thumb on him. It's crazy how I remember all these things because it's one of those things, those changing moments in your life where you go, man, we had a shot. Well, A.J. McCarron came in, and yeah, that game wasn't great. That Pittsburgh game wasn't great, but A.J. McCarron came in, went to San Francisco the next week, and again, A.J. McCarron's on the team right now. I get it, he's a few years older, but I've watched it personally. He took us to San Francisco. We beat the 49ers, who aren't the 49ers of what they are now. We went to Denver on a Sunday or a Monday night. I know it was a night game. It was a Sunday or Monday night. And we took the Peyton Manning-led Super Bowl champions of that season to overtime and lost because we kind of bobbled a snap there in overtime, and DeMarcus Ware recovered it. We went back home and beat Baltimore it was like about 8, but it was pretty handily beat them. And then obviously the Pittsburgh playoff game, there's a lot of things that happened. You could put the blame on me for being a running back coach and not having Jeremy roll with pressure or whatever the case is that we went down. I get it. Talked about that enough. But one thing that gets forgotten about that game, A.J. McCarron brought that team back from being down and drove down the field and went ahead, got the go-ahead touchdown to A.J. Green. And again, this kid's capable. So I'm just throwing it out there. If Browning doesn't get the job done, there's a capable guy that can get it done, that's on the roster, that has done it, and again can handle getting the ball to good players. Dude played at Alabama. Dude won national championship at Alabama. The guy was one of the best players in the XFL last year. I guess the XFL, but the guy still went out and did that. He's played at a high level. He's not rusty. So again, that's there. So looking at this game, before Burrow was injured, he had 101 yards passing and a TD. He was sacked twice. Jake Browning, though, came in and Jake Browning was not bad in this game, guys. Don't look at this and say Jake Browning was the problem. Jake Browning came in. He was sacked 3 times. He still rushed for 40 yards, four rushes for 40 yards, 68 yards passing. I know it's not great. Threw a TD to Chase, which obviously was his first TD, so congrats. The thing that needs to be made a point of is Mixon and the run game, not just Mixon, but Travion Williams, those guys, they were all running really well in this game. And Again, Joe had 100 total yards. He had 31 receiving yards and 69 rushing yards. Jamar Chase only had 2 receptions for 12 yards, 7 targets. When we get to the defense, I'll talk about them, but I think the safety position kind of showed out a little bit as opposed to what it's been doing. I think Jordan Battle did a really good job playing safety, and I think Rob Livingston's done a great job of getting those guys ready. So with that being said, let's look at the offense. And the way I'm going to break this down is I want to talk about the Burrow while he was healthy part of it and just talk about the team. Then I'm going to get into the run game. But then I want to spend the last few minutes talking about just Jake Browning, just what he did when he came in the game. So as we kick over to the video, this is the play before. Maybe this is the play he got hurt. We're not 100% sure. I know he said, he felt, like that play, this play right here. This is actually a choice route. Joe Mixon's going to run out here and run a choice route. And it's good. It's well read out. It's where you should throw the ball. Everything's good there. And then Clowney comes in. This is not, and again, that's not a vicious hit here by any means. Now, these are issues right now too that I think they gotta figure out. Is there's too many times that these linemen, when you're kick setting, they're not posting back in quick enough, and you'll see a few of these that's happening on. And again, there's nothing malicious about that. I mean, he hits him and then he kind of rolls to the side, and it just happens to be, it's hard to see, but you saw it on the video, on the TV copy, where it kind of came down awkwardly on that right hand. And but again, I don't think that's one of those things where Clowney was like, man, I'm going to hurt this kid or anything like that. Just happened to be one of those weird scenarios where he came down on it. Now, looking at the play that everything went to hell on for Bengals fans, right here, all of this is a simple just pick route right here, and they're just trying to kind of go in here. Tyler Boyd's trying to just cause interference, and again, great job, great play call. I mean, it's a good job with man coverage, and Joe Mixon catches the ball, and you can see right here. I mean, you could tell something. I mean, and again, this has not the whole thing about the sleeve on the plane flight. Did you watch this guy throw any pregame warmups? The guy was throwing the ball in pregame warmup like nothing was wrong. If something was wrong, he wouldn't have been throwing out there the way he was throwing. And again, I think something happened on the play before or whatever the case is. But if you want to talk about the play that he got hurt on, and it's unfortunate, but was a good play call. And again, it's one of those things like, if you would have told me that's the play that's going to take Joe Burrow out for the season, I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have believed you that he had that great of a pocket on the play he got taken out on the entire season. So, again, man, I mean, Cincinnati, I'm sorry, man. It's one of those, it's one of those things. I don't think that kid's deserving of it by any means. I don't think the city's deserving of it, but excuse me, the NFL football, script apparently was not written for that one this year. So, y'all can take my joke. I'm trying to cheer y'all up a little bit. Okay. I'm sorry if y'all don't like my jokes, but looking at what this guy does. And I think here's the thing, another quarterback can do this. And this is what I'm trying to make a point of. So right now, this what I believe was, let me go back to the scoreboard. This was 3rd and 7. Okay. So 3rd and 7, these guys are known for exotic blitzes. Well, they're not in an exotic blitz. So right now you've got your tight end, you got your back here. Well, why waste your tight end and protection right here in this? And all Burrow's saying is, you know what? I'm going to bump my guys out. I'm going to can the play. I'm going to bump my guys out. And I think this throw is just a little late. He's trying to throw it right here. And it's just, I think if usually that ball's out right about now. And it's like, for some reason, see how he pats the ball a couple times, and that's what I don't know what happened here. Now, who knows? I mean, was he hurt at this point? I don't think so. But you can see usually this ball right now is out. But again, I think initially he was trying to throw it here, but that guy was there, and that's why it took him a second. And he tries to push it back to the next read and just didn't get there. But I got a super chat here from Bengals captain, which I'm always it's great seeing Bengals captain in here. Known him for a long time. On OL play, are you seeing consistent issues that should be corrected or different issues each game? What are our additions not working? Why aren't they working? I am seeing more of an anchor issue. It's like I showed you a minute ago where he was setting out and he wasn't posting back in quick enough to take the inside away, or like Orlando Brown. I don't know if he's got something in the lower body right now that's bothering him. Somebody said he had maybe had a groin issue or something at one point. And it just looks to me like he's not able to set his base and just stop a guy. And it happens, but there's times where he's getting bulled back. I'll show you here in a little while. I've got one coming up where he gets pulled back. So I think it's more of if they just got to be a little bit more physical, and I think that's part of it. And I mean, again, maybe there's something to it that I don't know about. Maybe that they need to get your camera pointed at the quarterback, you'd be fine. All right, now this was early in the game. Now I want you to watch. What's the run play that's been working lately? It's been this puller play that they've been doing with Mixon. And I want you to watch what it does here. This is early in the game. And again, it's exactly the same action. They're running right here, but instead of him going to block that guy, he's going to go right over the top of him and come right here. And again, this is a great job of, trap pass, Y speed cross, whatever you want to call it. That's what I would have called this in a previous live. Trips left, trap pass left, Y speed cross. Simple play call, but it's good because you're selling what you're doing on off. You're selling what you're doing that worked in the run game, and bam, you hold this guy just long enough, and you get that Y over the top. So I think that's the play designs are pretty good with what they're trying to do here. And again, you talk about what's kind of wrong with it. I mean, I'm not sure if Ted Karras here, and then the guy's a great player, man. Don't get me wrong. I mean, guy does a lot of good things. It's just sometimes he kind of see how his feet right there are out from underneath his body. Cap, that's kind of what I'm getting at, was trying to keep their feet and keep their base in between people. So I see you see Jalen Battle lurking in here. Hey, listen, if Jalen Battle's lurking in here, I've got some stuff on Jordan here in a little while when we get to it. All right, now this is brackets coverage over Chase. So here's Chase. This is what Chase does. This is kind of why people are like, well, why aren't you throwing the ball to Chase? Because I want you to look here. You've got this guy covering the back. You've got these two guys covering these two guys. Well, look at all these guys that they have over here to take away really that one guy. Yeah, there's another player here that they have to account for too. But my point is this. They got 4 over 2 because that number one guy right there is sitting right there. So what they do is, I want you to watch what he kind of looks over here for a second, but he knows right now he's got Boyd running that, and he's got like a guy running in right behind him. And the way that they're playing this man coverage, because they know they've got a help in here, is they're going to play outside leverage on these guys and try to funnel them in. Well, the problem is this guy's attention's all over here on Chase, because Burrow's eyes are looking over here initially and throws it right over the top. So again, good manipulation. You can see his helmet right here. His helmet's looking over here to manipulate 6 to get him to move over, just like he's doing. He's not throwing the ball over here. That's not happening. He's manipulating that guy right there because he knows he's got that guy running in right behind it. And again, that's high level play by those guys. Now, can another quarterback do this? Absolutely, he can. Now, I want you to look at Cap to answer one of your questions. You see that position that he's in right there? That's not a good position to be in. Now you've got to reset your entire body. You got to drop your butt again. And again, think that's kind of, there's something to that. You'd rather be in one of these positions right here, where you can see right here where Kappa, he's keeping that kind of that power clean. He's getting up underneath with that power clean power. Looking at the next one. Now I just want you to watch this. This is something people have been talking about. Now, when you have the issue of pass protection on the edge, and you've got Clowney is what he is, but he's still a pretty dang good player. I want you to watch Travion Williams. He's checking right here. That's Travion Williams' guy right here. So they're here, here, and here. Travion Williams has, I believe it's Patrick Queen there. But watch what he does here. I want you to watch what he does to Clowney. That's just enough, man. I mean, you don't have to, Orlando Brown can set back and then bam, now you got him. Now, don't lose him again. Now, just stay on him. But again, that is something that they're doing to help him out. Now, I want you to watch this. This is something that I think the tight ends are starting to do a little bit of. There's a lot of they run a lot of this combination, okay, and some teams call this Ohio, out and go. That's what Ohio stands for, not the state most of y'all live in. Out and go. That's kind of where Ohio came from. But what they're going to do is they're going to run an Ohio and go right here, and then Chase is going to come in here and basically just kind of shield off dudes. And I think that's a pretty damn good play. And I want you to keep this in mind because there's one that Browning is going to have in a little while where I believe it's Travion Williams is over here, and he ends up running over here on a scramble, and he doesn't hit him. And I think that's where Burrow does make a difference. I think Burrow sees things like that and can put those balls like that. I mean, that's a hole shot again right there. That's a heck of a throw. But we'll see what happens here, when they get going. All right, so looking at the next play, this is an RPO. This was early on, man. This was this was first drive. I'd say this was like maybe the fourth or fifth play of the game. And what they're doing is they're going to motion Chase out here, and he's going to do like a little step back, and they're running a run play. Well, this guy blitzes, so when this guy blitzes, like it tells you right now, hey, go ahead and throw this. Well, they do a really good job on Baltimore's defense from coming from depth. Now, he's got to get this blocked. Now, the problem is he's seeing that I need to block him first. He's like, oh, crap, he's dropping. Here comes this guy. They got real lucky right here because Burrow makes the correct read to throw this. But Boyd should block most dangerous, which is that guy. But right here, watch. Chase knocks this up in the air. That's been known to go the other way for 6 points for the other team. So they got kind of lucky right here. And again, they're running the same play that they've been running, which is good. Keep bringing it. But again, when that guy blitzes off the edge, that's your read. So I thought it was good by Burrow, the read. But again, it's just they got to execute a little better out there on the edge out there. Kind of lucky too, But again, you can see they're trying to run that same, one back power play that they've been running. And again, just, do it in the blitz, and it is what it is. Now, looking at a couple of the sacks. So we're talking about the O-line here. So coming back to this Cap here about your question earlier, what are some issues? This is the up and unders are kind of an issue. And when I say up and unders, I want you to watch Volson right here. 95 right here is going to kind of go. He's going to step here and he's going to come back under. So he gives him just that little and comes back under. And you see when I talked about posting, so he's setting. So a set is like setting this way. A post is when you post back in with your inside foot. So when like your set step would be like this, and your post step would be like this. So right there, see, there's no post step. There's no step back in. I guarantee you, Frank Pollock's like all over that, because right there, the second that he crosses back here, that foot's got to go there. But that's one thing. Now the other thing too. You see this dude right here? I'd have to go look him up, but I don't know how much Michael Pierce weighs. But this is like a dancing bear. You should see this dude. This dude will drop into coverage and stuff too. He'll drop. And even Kayla, my wife, last night was like, "Did you see 58? He was like dancing around on his tiptoes like a ballerina." I'm like, listen, some of them big dudes can move, but this is a problem too. This is just getting overpowered. So sometimes you just, man, it part of it, you just kind of get beat. But again, it's the up and under right here. That's Tavius Robinson right here, 95. And again, Michael Pierce just overpowers Karras right there, Karras, and that's just tough. But if you look at the pass routes that were behind it, there's stuff there. Like if he had a second longer, he had guys, and that's what's tough about it. Now I want to talk about with the Ravens, what the Ravens like to do is they will get exotic. So they're going to overload. So those are your three big guys over here. There's your other big guy. So your center's on the hash. So that what I'm saying is they've overloaded it this way. Now what they're also doing is they're mugging up these two linebackers in the line, and you have an edge threat. So that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers counting the back. So they should have it blocked. That's great. A PFF says Pierce is 6 foot 355. That's being nice. That's being real nice. The 6 foot part, I agree with. The 355, I mean, that's a humongous man, but the dude moves. But here's what they call a simulated blitz. Okay, so when you hear simulated blitz or a sim or whatever you want to say, simulated blitz means right now everything looks like a blitz. Even on the snap, it looks like a blitz. Now, right there, now they all drop out. Now guess what you got? You got cover 2. You got Tampa 2. He's actually going to drop to the Tampa part. He's going to drop to 2, and you're dropping to Tampa 2. And that's what they're good at. Because here's the thing, they'll bring a blitz out of that same exact look the next time, but that's a simulated blitz. They're simulating that they're going to blitz, but they don't. So if you ever hear simulated blitz, that's what that is. But they bail to cover 2. Clowney right here just beats right here. See how he gets his hand on Jonah Williams' arm right there. So when I worked for Paul Alexander, when I was the assistant line coach for Cincinnati for my first 4 years, Paul Alexander used to say, outside hand down the middle is death. Well, you got your outside hand down the middle. That's when he said, he's exaggerating saying it's death. But like if your outside hand's down the middle, that means he can pop you back this way and come around just like he's doing, and you can't really recover from it. But that's when you ever hear somebody say, man, you can't have your outside hand down the middle like that. That's what he means right there. So again, he just gets beat right here. And I think the simulated blitz part wasn't the thing that necessarily got Burrow, because I think Burrow, when it was all said and done, I think probably would have come back to one of these two guys and dropped it down, but just didn't have time. So again, it was this right here. And again, you're kind of getting pushed back here. As some of their guys, like Baltimore's front's just physical, man. I mean, that's what they are. All right, now getting off of the Burrow stuff, but here's the run game. I just want to talk about some of the run game stuff that we're seeing. This was I love it when this is actually a pass technically, so I guess I'm kind of lying to you. It's not really run game, but it is part of it's blocked like a run. But you can see they're not blocking this guy right here, so they're gonna go get him. They're gonna get him. They're gonna push him in here, but then they're gonna go block him here, and it's a well blocked play. But Travion Williams, it's a well done from the backfield. As a former running back coach, is well done. I think you could get a little bit more out of your tight end just by not getting pushed back. I see how he's kind of getting pushed back, but it's just enough. And I want you to watch what he does. So if you're a young tight end or blocker or anybody that's a football player, so how many times you see those guys get called for holding because they won't let go? Well, there's a point right now. Watch what Drew Sample does. He lets go and he kind of shoves with that arm. Sometimes you just got to let go and shove, man. I mean, if you don't get called for holding, let go and shove. That's all you got to do. But if you watch this from the end zone, man, I mean, it's good. It's good to get Chase involved. That technically this was that was his other catch other than his touchdown. So it is what it is. But you're not blocking certain guys inside because you're going to outrun them. But I do want you to watch my man, and I'll show it to you from the sideline. I believe this is Trenton Irwin. He's trying to come in and crack on Patrick Queen, and yeah. But you know what? Did Patrick Queen make the tackle? Yeah, way downfield for 10 yards. Yeah, that's not great, but I mean, you're kind of getting, you're getting blasted. But again, that's that's something, as a blocker, you just got to kind of go do. Now let's talk about Mixon here. I know there's a lot of people, good friends of mine actually, that are wondering, why do I keep pushing Mixon? Because Mixon's still a good back. Okay, you can say what you want, all that. When you have the least amount of rushing attempts in the league, you're not going to let the man get a rhythm going. I brought this up before, but I had the opportunity to coach Adrian Peterson for a season in Detroit. And one of the things Adrian Peterson told me was, Coach, you got to let me have a few runs back to back to back, like just to get a rhythm going. Because everybody keeps talking about, man, this can be 3 yards, 2 yards, 5 yards, 20 yards, then 6 yards, 5 yards, 2 yards, -1, 20. Well, you don't get that if you don't get a rhythm going. And that came from Adrian Peterson that, obviously is one of the best running backs that's played in the league. And again, if you look at this, so this is what they're doing here. This is different than the tosses they were doing a couple weeks ago, like on 3rd and 1. This is actually an outside zone. Now, what they're trying to do here is they're trying to actually get these guys to run so that he can push and then cut back behind them. And you can see that it didn't work necessarily like that for this one. But what they're trying to do is they're saying, okay, let's get these guys moving laterally. Now, I want you to watch the difference between this one right here by Drew Sample and how he didn't get, and honestly, Jonah Williams is just kind of playing off of his block right here, but how he didn't get pushed back. And the biggest thing on these outside zones, and this is just an outside zone, even though it's a toss, it's an outside zone. The biggest thing on this is don't get pushed back to force a cut. Let the back stretch and cut when he feels needed. And again, I think that was a well-done run. You'll see here in a little while on Jake Browning's first completion when he came in. Same thing. Now, later in the game, you see that? That's what broke the play down right there, because he wasn't able to stretch it more because of that pushback right there. And that's what kills an outside zone, is getting that pushback. Now, it's not Drew Sample right there, but again, that's the pushback. When you get pushed back like that, it does kill this. I mean, these guys are battling. I mean, you got some big dudes in here that these guys are fighting off, and could have been a pretty good play. Now, this is another outside zone. This was later in the game because Browning's in the game. But they started running it from the gun. And one of the things when you're running it from the gun, if you're running it from over here and you're tossing it, your aiming point's somewhere out here for the back. So you're telling him, you're doing this. And if you're running it from under center, you're saying your aiming point's somewhere over here, maybe on the tight end, maybe even a little wider outside tight end. Problem is when you're in the gun, you're chasing these guys from way back here. So your aiming point's a little bit tighter, and you're thinking this thing's going to push here and then cut right around there. And if you watch it, that's about what it does. But it's a good job, really good job by these guys. Good job by here. Look here. Good job of getting up. They're going to push these guys by, create that wall. They're going to push these guys by, create that wall. And that's where that little bitty crease comes in. Now, again, you'd like your receiver to try to get in there, but well done by these guys. The blocking's not bad. Maybe outside zone. Frank Pollock's an outside zone guy, man. I'm telling y'all, when Frank Pollock was at Dallas and Zeke Elliott was doing his thing, it was duo and outside zone. And trust me, because when he came in Cincinnati, I was a running back coach the first time, and that's what he dealt with. Now, I do want to say this. I'll give I'm trying to be unbiased about Joe. If he can just miss that leg right there, that leg, you can kind of see it. There's a leg of Trenton Irwin right there. If he can get his foot up over that leg right there, this damn well could be a touchdown. And again, I know that's kind of what people are seeing right now, is he's just not breaking tackles. He's getting tripped up too easily. I get that, but that's still an explosive run. And it's a great job by the line. So this is kind of a not a reverse, but it's like a tackle pull. It's not one back power. It's one back. Some people call it twin. It's tackle pulling to the weak side. TW, tackle weak. Twin. How about that one? You like that? We're not rocket scientists or we're not, brain scientists and rocket surgeons. That's not what we are. But we do come up with some good plays. But again, if he just gets that one leg up right there, I know this is killing Joe right here, because if he would have broken that right there, could have been a humongous play. So I know Chris Zito says Joe is done. Okay. Tell me who you're gonna go out and get right now that's gonna look any better than this. And again, you can say that. I see it from a different perspective because, again, I've coached the position. I actually know the kid. I'm not an apologist for us, and I'm not pushing for him. But at the same time, I do know what he has. So, Andy Dalton, yeah. I don't even know where you're going with the Andy Dalton comment there, but I thought Andy was a good quarterback for us. Could we have been better? Sure. But Andy is what we had at the time. So now here, I'll beat up on Joe a little bit right here. Joe, I'm beating up on you here. If you ever watch this right here, he has got to, again, take the inside away from that. There cannot be any space between him and Orlando Brown. If he's going to get beat, he needs to get beat this way and run him by. But instead right here, he leaves that little bit of space. And then, again, when he goes inside, see how his foot should go right now. This right foot should cover that gap right there and get his body inside. Instead, he's leaning and lunging. So he lunged right there, and he can't lunge right there. Now, this is Browning, and I'm not talking about Browning yet, okay? But I'm going to go into it, so I might as well just start here. This is one of the things that Browning did. Now watch. He's got a guy bearing down on his face right here, and he throws this thing up, and, man, where's the DPI? Where right here is the DPI? You're telling me right now they did not call one thing on this. Now, they came back and threw the same play here in a little bit and got one, but they're going to call DPI. If that right there is not DPI, I'm not sure exactly what's going on. So I'm going to throw that out there because there were some things, obviously, with the Bengals on the exact same spot of the field, by the way. I don't know if it was the same official or not, but exact same spot, literally Baltimore sideline, same spot of the field. That's pass interference. I'm sorry, guys, but that's unless they're saying that ball got tipped, which I doubt a ball being thrown 40 yards in the air got tipped. You're saying go get Andy Dalton. Well, I don't know if they can go get Andy Dalton right here. But yes, I agree. I was with Andy's a good quarterback. So, all right, moving forward to Browning. So let's take a step back now and let's talk about Jake Browning. Okay. One of the things I want to make sure everybody hears, it's not what he can't do, and don't compare him to Joe Burrow, okay? Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, Allen, all those kind of guys, those guys are in a different stratosphere, okay? They're somewhere else. They're they're doing their own thing. Not that Browning's a bad quarterback, but here, let's look at what he can do and what the things that he brings to the team, that he can get the ball to the other playmakers that Burrow was getting the ball to as well. So I see y'all say Jake who? Browning. All right. So if you look right here, what does this look like? What play does this look almost exactly like, except for that guy right there? This play looks exactly like that toss play that they've run 2 or 3 times already in this game. So what does that do? That draws all these guys over here. Well, look, here comes your receivers running these over routes and shallows. And again, right here, watch him flip his hips and throw this ball. Guys, that's not a backup high school quarterback doing that stuff right there, okay? So that again right there is that, again, this was the first play he was in. This was the first play when he came in after the injury. So you're talking about the entire team on Baltimore thinking right now, oh, they're going to run the ball. They ain't going to let this guy pass. Well, here you go. Fake it. Bring it naked across. Do a freaking dart right there to Trenton Irwin. And again, big play. I mean, that's I don't know if that was that his first ever pass completion. I don't know that. All right, but it could have been. Now, this was a Max Pro. Okay, this was a good pickup. Now, he gets hit right here. Boom. But look at him sit in the pocket right here. He knows damn well he's about to get blasted right here. Okay? He knows damn well he's getting blasted. Now, same spot of the field. That right there is 100% pass interference, and it got called. But if you watch what he's doing here. Now, this was a tough pickup, man. I mean, this is one of those pickups right here where those two, and he's got to be on the same page, and all 3 of these guys have got to pass off, and that's a tough pass. Like right now, like Volson's turned right there, goes back to him. There's no way he's picking up that guy. So at this point right now, I mean, the only thing that you're going to do to maybe pick this up is if Orlando Brown says he does that, and I can guarantee you there's no line coaches teaching that technique. Again, right there, I mean, good pick game, because this pick game came from over here. All right, so good pick game by Baltimore. But watch him. He knows right now, man. Oh crap! I'm about to get blasted. Get that ball out, and again, big play. So the kid's got got some stuff in him. And then again, this is good. He's got to know right now. Okay, down here in this neck of the woods down here in the tight red zone, you're gonna get zero blitz by the Ravens. Now, I want you to watch it. Yes, it's zero because they got 1, 2, 3, 4. Joe's up in here. Now, I want you to watch what they do. They pop two dudes out. See that big old boy right there? That's as listed 355. 355 out here, coming out here like a dancing ballerina. But again, this is so close. Now, can he block this guy? No, he cannot block this guy. But that's how close this was to being probably, I mean, dang near a touchdown. He can block this guy within a yard. So the ball's on the 8-yard line. See, that guy's about on the 5.5. If that guy was on the 7-yard line, if this guy was right here, he could actually go block him within a yard of the ball, within a yard line of scrimmage. But right there, can't do it. But that's how close. Again, I'm not blaming this one on Browning. I just think, that was a good job of him right now. He knows I got to get rid of this ball. Like, I think some people are saying, well, why don't you wait for that corner to come open? Because the back of his head would be planted in the dirt. So that's what you don't want to be hit like that. But again, good pickup by the Bengals for what they had here, and he's just got to know he's hot. So they get him on that. Now here's some of the sacks that he took. Now this is one of those things he's just got to get ready for, okay? Because again, this is a 3-step pass. You can see here this is a flat slant. You got a slant, and I believe like a little in, but you got a slant. You got a slant and a flat and a guy over the ball. So really this is a 3-step pass. Now the thing you got to understand, these guys are setting. You see how they're not all setting back? Some of them are setting back, some of them are not. That's because they know right now it's a 3-step pass. It's a 1 step from the gun. 1 step, let it go. Like this ball should be out right now. You got to throw this ball. And again, I put this more on the fact that he held the ball. And again, I don't have anything to throw to. That's, it's tough right there. So, again, he's just got to be able to understand, listen, if it's 3-step, man, I got to get rid of the ball. But, again, I think, they'll work on that and they'll get it going. Here's another one. Again, another sack by him. He had 3 sacks, 3-step pass, and he tries to scramble right here. So, right now, you're looking at, there's Ohio that I talked about, out and go. And then really you've got kind of a choice route here. And then you got a go route right here. And then the back's in the flat. And I want you to watch the back. The back's going to end up scrambling and going down the sideline right here. Dalton Signature, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for all your great breakdown. I appreciate you, man. Now, you do some great work too. If anybody's looking for guys to do digital work and different things with I hate to use the word Photoshop, but different things in photography and getting some graphics done, man, Dalton Signature does a great job. So I'll throw that out there to him, man. I appreciate you being in the chat. But I want you to watch right here. This is a 3-step drop, and I want you to watch the way these guys are setting. They're setting for 3-step. Okay, ball's got to be out, either here or here. Ball's got to be out right now. Well, it's not. Now watch. He does a good job. Now, he does a good job of scrambling. Now, I think right now if this is Burrow and a guy who maybe has just a little bit more patience and calmness right here, I think Burrow hits him for a long pass right here. I think his eyes are downfield, and I think this ball goes down here somewhere and at least give a shot here to Travion Williams. So those are some things. And, again, you can see, I mean, every single one of y'all sitting here watching this right now is going to say, yeah, I would probably be flipping out about that too. There's some big dudes chasing after you. So they're trying to take your head off too. The Ravens don't like the Bengals. Bengals don't like the Ravens. I get the whole thing. Now, here's one thing I mentioned in the preview show. If any of y'all watched the preview show, was I mentioned that there's like openings in this intermediate middle area. And you can see right here, like they're actually trying to clear this out and then hit him in the intermediate middle area. And that's Chase right there. The problem is when you run when you run these deeper routes, you're obviously putting yourself in a position to have issues. Now, here's the issue with this one. You've got a tight end in protection. And Irv Smith's got to know now, look, this guy's This guy is pulling over here to me. So where can I err on the side of? I can err on the side of being a little wider because if he goes inside, I know I've got help. So right there, he should stay square with him, knowing that this guy's coming. So watch, Volson actually knocks him off, and he comes around. Now, that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is over here. And again, you talk about, here comes that spin move right there. And you see he tries to get that foot in there, but he can't get it. He can't get it all the way in there. And again, that's not a look you like to see as a quarterback, but they're trying to move the pocket with him. I mean, it makes sense. Pull these guys, move them over just a little bit, get them off the right off the center. That way you're not dropping straight back every time. Digital media, thanks, Yash. That's the word I was looking for, man. I'm a football coach, all right? I told you just a little while ago, we call things Ohio because it's out and go, all right? Like I said, not the brightest cats in the world, but again, I think that's the biggest issue y'all asked earlier is just see how he's kind of leaning. There's like a lean in him, and he's not able to get his body back inside. And again, I've mentioned this before. When a guy spins like this, that right hand that's on his back, if you put that right hand down and right on his hip, right on that inside hip that's turning right there, it will stop it every single time. It's a physics thing, I guess. Again, we worked it. I know with our linemen. All right, moving on to some better things here. All right, so motion right here. So when you motion this guy down, you know right now when you motion him down, and this guy just kind of motions back, nobody really moves. You know it's zone. You know right now they're in a quarters look. Now they roll down a 3 buzz, but they're in a quarter shell to start. So it's zone right now. And again, Browning avoids the sack, and they're trying to get this deep cross again. So they're trying to get that thrown right there because they're taking this guy under, and they're trying to get something. They're trying to get one of those guys throwing the ball here. And right there, I think, he's got that throw. And there may be a point where, man, you need to trust it to get that going. But again, when you have a tight end in protection, he's got to know, like, I've got to get that done. Like, if you're going to do this full cell half roll stuff, the whole job of that guy right there is to allow him to half roll and set up right here. And again, if you watch the play's there, like, I mean, you can't really see him off the screen, but it's there. Now watch him make this guy miss. Like, go try that in your backyard. Go do that little backwards thing without falling down and have guys running at you. And I mean, he ends up getting a positive gain out of this, and it's not bad. So would the guys benefit from judo classes? I think they'd benefit from yoga for sure, believe it or not. Karate, some judo, yeah. I mean, things like flexibility and quickness, discipline. Dion, how to get Chase more targets? You got to Fred that man. I'm assuming you mean feed that man, but unless I don't know some slang here, y'all can tell me if I don't know slang. He is going to get frustrated. I get it. He was frustrated the other night too. I think you got to find ways to, first off, if you can get T. Higgins back on the field, I think it opens up a lot of things because right now they're double, triple covering. You saw they had 4 over 2 earlier. But if you look here, like this here, I do want you to watch this block. This is one of those ones that usually gets called for holding. This one usually gets called for holding, but watch what he does. He airplanes it, and he schnutties him right there. See, he just, hey, and my hands are, I'm not holding him. I think that was a good adjustment by Orlando. I got you. I'm not holding you. So, Jess from Tigers Talk, good to see you. Yeah, Whitworth was big on yoga. That he was one of the first ones I knew that actually got into yoga. And but again, if you look at the scramble, I mean, the kid can move, kid can run, he can do things. So I mean, you're not just hamstrung with this kid. And I'm trying to tell you what he can do. I'm not worried about what he can't do. Okay, can he not do some of the things Burrow can do? Sure. Okay. Now, this is a pick game that they're running, and really the Bengals got very lucky right here. And Travion Williams trips over his own guy right here. Okay, so I just want to make a he's not trying to cut this guy. He trips or he gets stepped on. But a lot of times when that happens right there, those are high-low blocks. Like those are, $15,000 fines right there. Now, maybe they saw him. I'm shocked as many flags were being thrown that wasn't thrown for a high-low block. But that's brutal right there. But they're blitzing here and they're trying to bring him around, and it's a tough block to pick up. But again, it can be. But if you get stepped on right there, it's not easy. But and again, this is just something I just want to point out. But if you look right here, I mean, that's not great ball security by any means. But the kid can get out of things and pretty good escapability. So I don't think if you want to talk about what he can do. Now, here's the other thing that he can do. And I think I've made this point in the preseason because it might have been him and Simeon and all those guys that were doing it. I've talked about it out in the field, but the little back shoulder throws, they come in here and they throw the back shoulder. They do the same thing up here in the red zone. Looks like a fade, and then look, the ball's gone. The ball is out of his hand. Watch when the ball's gone. They know right now, like that's a hell of a timing, man. I mean, you want to talk about, Chase and Burrow and that, but ball's out of his hand. Ball's out of his hand. Look where he's at. So point being, he can do this stuff. So I'm trying to make the point that the talent around number 6, or I believe AJ wears number 10 now, but the talent around whatever quarterback is in there has got to step up now. This is their time to step up, okay? They can't let the fact of Burrow being out and they go sulk and all that. And I don't think they're the type of people to do that. Once they step up and give this guy their full trust of we're going to go out and do it. Go out and do it, man. I mean, I'm just telling you, it can happen. You got enough talent. There's too much talent on this offense to let it just be stagnant and say, we lost our star quarterback, Joe Burrow. Yes. Does that hurt you? Absolutely. I mean, he's MVP caliber, but you got enough other guys on the team to make up for it. So that's the kind of attitude they need to take going forward. And I think they will. I know some of the guys on the team. I know more of the coaches than I know the players, but I'm just telling you, man, that offense can still keep going. It may not be as efficient that you like or as exciting at times and all the things that happen, but there's a lot of things that they can do. They can still do things. Jess says it's Joe Mixon season. Jess, you and I might be the only ones on that train right now, but again, I'm with you. I think if you can get the run game going, it can open up some play actions, nakeds, things that they're moving the pocket on that isn't just a drop back that could force some of these teams just to put their ears back and get after the quarterback. Now, moving on to the defense. One of the things with the defense is they gave up 405 yards, 248 passing, 157 rushing. It's actually not bad considering what the Ravens have been doing, 157 yards rushing. Now, the one thing they didn't have that they've been having is they created no turnovers. So that was one of the things that I think, they've been living off of, because I think going into the Texans game, I don't know where it ended up, but I believe they were +9 or something like that on the season in turnover ratio. And again, no turnovers. Now, I didn't have any turnovers on offense. So, that helped out too. So again, when you don't have any turnovers, one of the things that's going to stick out here, and I just want to point this out because not all these plays are I don't necessarily have a Jordan Battle tab on this, but what I want you to look at is his play in the back end. And I think this kid, him and Dax Hill did a good job at the safety position. Rob Livingston does a great job with those guys back in the back end. I've coached with Rob. And I know what he brings to the table. He's a good coach, so he'll have them ready. Now, I want to talk about officiating. Okay, I don't think I can get fined for this or anything, but my last contract ran out in January of 2022, so I'm not under any contract with the NFL yet. I would love to be, but right here. So I'm going to point out the good and the bad here. Okay, so the first one here now. corner cat, or I guess not corner cat, but a nickel, the nickel blitzes. And this is kind of the same thought process here that Burrow tried to do to Chase a little while ago. So they blitz and try to throw this little step back right here. Well, remember I said he needed to block the most I don't even have the video up. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Here we go. There we go. Now, talking about defense. So, again, here comes Hilton. And they tried this little step back just like they did with Chase when he blitzed. It's their RPO. And Odell Beckham's coming to block. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I have a hard time. The only thing I can think of is maybe that little hand that's behind him. But that's not – there's no real restriction right there. And, again, they called it. You can see the flag gets thrown right there. And, again, it's kind of funny if you watch this. I don't know if you can see it, if it'll stay on there. But he's pointing at the Jumbotron. And then one of the Bengals players right here, maybe it's Mike Hilton. Who is this? Yeah, it's Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton runs over here. And I don't think you can see it, but he starts pointing at the flag right there. And, he catches Odell Beckham's attention and points at the flag. But, again, now that one other thing I want to point out right here is tackling. Again, I'm not 100% sure where the lack of angles has been coming from lately. I don't know if it's because there's some speedier guys on the field and they're not getting the looks in practice or whatever, but that's, and it looked to me like their field was slick the other night because Lamar Jackson was even sliding around. It looks like he slides right here. But again, that's a big play, got called back. Bengals captains officiating as BS as we think it is, or there are a ton of conversations about officiating we're not allowed to hear. I just think that there's some obvious things they're missing. I don't think there's any other conversations that they're having because what they do, the Bengals can the Ravens can turn this in, and let's just say the officials said, "Yeah, we missed that." They literally will just say on the sheet, "We missed that. We missed that call." Oh, you're meaning on the team? Yeah. I mean, because you can't say it in the media, you can't say it in the press conferences. Are coaches and players going to complain about the officiating? Sure, they're going to complain about it on the sideline. Do you not see, like, these guys are all yelling at him right there? How many times do you see Zach yelling? Yeah, there's some conversations you're just not supposed to say it in the media. So anyway, point being, I think hopefully that answered your question. But yes, there are a lot of conversations. Again, is there maybe a slight tug right there? Maybe, but you got two other dudes right here. I mean, come on, make the play. All right, next one. Now, this one was called DPI. First off, I just want to point this out. I want you to watch Osai right here, 58 on I guess it's on Zeitler here. Oh no, it ended up being on the center. Right here. They do a little twist game. Watch what he does to 64 right here. I think this guy, somebody probably said, "Where's he been? Why hasn't he been showing up?" Because he did some things in this game. What? Oh, get off me, boy! I mean, he just took him to the ground, just flattened him right there. That wasn't even tripping. That's just he had that dude bent back right there. But I want you to watch this ball being thrown. Okay. Is that pass interference? Y'all can't even see the ball on the screen right there. I'm gonna try to see if I can show you where this ball is. This ball right now is about up here. You can see him jump, and that little flailing right there. See the ball is actually way up here above his head. And you see how far it goes. I mean, it goes all the way to where he almost catches it right here. And I'm just not sure that right there is pass interference, man. I mean, yeah, did he hit him early? But the ball is not catchable. I don't know where the whole the uncatchable rule went in DPI. Now, this one's the phantom one that I still don't understand. This one gets called way down here. And again, this ball right here is, y'all should be able to see that's the ball right there. Like that ball, there's nobody in that frame catching it. Homeboy stopped. And they showed it on film. Like he might have had his hand on his back, but there's no There's no tug and pull. That's the receiver twisting, trying to go for the ball. There was no twist and pull right there. So again, I don't know, man. I wish I had better answers for you guys. That's just, y'all got to stop. Maybe you guys in chats and online and different things, y'all got to stop trolling the officials to their personal accounts. Maybe they're seeing more than you think they're seeing. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm really joking when I say that, but now this was B.J. Hill. Did anybody hear today what happened? That right there, I can tell you what happened, but man, you hate to see that, and that's just that's a non-contact because it happened literally right. It happened on that step right there, and I mean you could see him go down, and that's golly, man. I mean it's like I don't care who it is, man. It's whether it's him, Burrow, Andrews. It's tough, man. I just want to put that in there, give him a little love because that's tough. That's real tough. All right, so now let's talk about the Logan Wilson. Okay. All right. I originally had this as I was going to put like a little I don't know, adjective or adverb or whatever you want to call it. I was gonna describe him in a way, and I don't want to do it because it would have come across wrong, and it's not. Because Logan Wilson is not playing dirty. The hip drop, man. If y'all can take the hip drop out of it, and y'all can try to officiate that, do you realize how many penalties are going to get thrown? It's going to be like targeting in NCAA. It's going to get out of control, and it's just one of those things, man. That he's trying to tackle the guy. Does he hip drop and land on the back of his leg? Yes, I can guarantee you this. I don't think anybody is sitting there trying to say that he was trying to break his leg on this play. But again, good read by Lamar Jackson. It's a run play, but there's a blitz, so you throw the RPO behind the blitz. Great job. Now, angles. All right, angles. I'm going to talk about angles a lot coming up. Now, that right there is Scott. Bad angle, okay? I'm not sure if this is when his playing time kind of got taken away from him, but got to make that play right there. You got to take a better angle. You can't let a big tight end just do that. Now, Logan Wilson gets him like this, and the way he's running, at the angle he's running, all he's trying to do is grab him and bring him to the ground. That's not and unfortunately for Mark Andrews, is he landed right on the back of his leg, and I believe he has a fractured fibula and something else with his ankle. But again, that to me is not a. Is he purposefully right there? Did he think in that, like, as he's running right there in that split second, man, I'm going to go take his ankle out? I don't think so. Was it a hard tackle? Yes. It's the NFL. It's going to have hard tackles. Next one. This was the Lamar Jackson scramble, okay? So Lamar Jackson ends up scrambling over here. And, here comes Logan Wilson. And, again, look at that right there. Do you think in that position that he's playing in right there, he's thinking, I'm going to twist his ankle and break his ankle or whatever the case is? Do you think he's actually thinking that? No. You know what he's trying to do? That's one of the most elusive quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. He's trying to tackle him. He's trying to tackle him. And exactly, get him out of bounds. He's trying to end the play is what he's trying to do. There's not a guy in that position that thinks, I'm going to break his ankle. And look, he even lifted it and let go. Like, let go. You can see it from this angle. Lift. Like, he pops right up. Watch his hands. You see his hands? His hands to the side. Like, lift, let go. I mean, I get it, man. People want to make a big deal about, something. Now, right here, this is actually a pretty good route combination by OBJ and a heck of a throw and catch by Lamar Jackson and OBJ. If you want to just give credit where credit is, I want you to watch everybody here. This is man coverage. Everybody's pretty much trying to work over here, and you see how right here everybody's working over here. Well, OBJ kind of goes in like he's going to, and then he comes back out like this. And this throw by Lamar is on point, and it's a heck of a catch. Now, here's the crazy thing. Where is Logan Wilson? Can anybody tell me where Logan Wilson is right now? Anybody? Since y'all can't talk because it's a chat, I'll let you know. He's right there. Okay? OBJ just caught the ball. The effort getting down and saying, right there, do you think he ran down? Because here he is right here. Do you think he ran down here? He's thinking right now this whole time, man, I'm going to go hurt OBJ. You know what? I don't like him. No, you see what he's doing? He's going for the ball. He's going for the ball. And he just happens to land on top of him, and OBJ turns right there on his shoulder, on his hurt shoulder, by the way, that he already had hurt. That right there is not a – y'all got to stop it out there saying that that's dirty. That is what it is, but that's my 2 cents on that. All right, tackling issues. Got a couple plays here. Just want to talk through. This is, again, cover 0. So you saw Baltimore's cover 0, and they had the pop-outs earlier with Big 58 popping out. Same thing right here. Look, you got Big, who is that, 96 popping out. But, again, right here, they're just – what they're saying is, okay, they're trying to get to there, so they're just going to throw a little quick out right here. Now, yes, you're one-on-one right here. You got help coming in from over here. You got help coming in from over here, but you got a ton of help right here. All right, that's your 12th man right there. Giggle Maggies, right there. That's your 12th man. Now, go a little lower shoot your hands a little lower. Shoot your hands a little lower. Get around his waist, because right there, you shot around his head, he spins out. You see it from the other angle. Yeah. Go lower on him. Go lower on him and then drive him out of bounds. Yeah, he might have gotten the first down, but he's not going to get that much more. And again, Odell Beckham Jr. is still a good player, man. I mean, the guy's been a good player. You got to respect that, but you got to take him on with fundamentals too. Overall angles on this one, man, are just now I get it. Okay, so they're spreading them out. They're spreading them out right here. Now you've got 5 blockers. Okay, this is the rules on this play because I've run this play a bunch of times. You have 5 blockers, and you're reading him. So in all reality, you're a blocker for yourself. So if there's a 6-man box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you run this ball. You run it, you read it, you hand it off, or you pull it. You know, you've got guys out here, they're covered. Okay, and you got your deep safety, whatever. But right here, he just can't go upfield as far right here. He's got to kind of stay back just a little bit. If he stays back just a touch, well, he can still play the quarterback, but then fall back in and make that play right there. But see how he runs up the field just a little bit because he's playing the quarter. You can still play the quarterback from right here because you still have help coming down. And again, right here, just angles. Just got to take better angles right here. Right here. They have to get this figured out. Like right here. Mike Hilton should be here. Awuzie, whoever that is right there. But again, I mean, they're getting, you know, you just can't. There's too many bad angles right there. Now, that's more of a hold than Odell Beckham did. Just so y'all know, just throwing it out there. All right, pass rush. So Hendrickson, I thought he was hurt. Y'all told me all last week. I say all last week. It was this week. All this week that 91 was hurt. Y'all kept telling me that. And I'm calling y'all out on it. That kid ain't hurt right there, man. That man ain't hurt. But watch the 2-hand swipe. See how he takes. See how 65 pushes his both of his arms are out like this. He takes both those hands and swipes them down. Swipes his hands down. Boom. See how he swipes them down, gets them off of him, and he just keeps going and dink. There you go. I mean, that to me is a big time play. Now, what made this happen? It created a one-on-one here because you had mugged up all these guys. You had mugged these 2 guys up in there, and you caused everybody to have to, like, his eyes have to be here. His eyes have to be here. Now, look, he tries to come late, but he can't get there. So again, it's the pre-snap alignments, the simulated blitz, however you want to call it. This might be the easiest sack in Bengals history. Now, does DJ Turner have a sack on the year before this? This is actually DJ Turner getting a sack. If DJ Turner doesn't have a sack, and this is his first ever sack, God bless him, because easiest sack in the world. Because look, he's just the one that touched him. Watch this from the I do like this. So quarterbacks, watch this. So Lamar Jackson's breaking the pocket. Now watch what he does right here. See how he turns and looks? Why is he turning and looking? He wants to make sure there's nobody right here about to smack him from the behind right there. So he sees nobody's there. Okay, cool. I'm going to keep going. Now, I don't know if that 15-yard line, that 15-yard line came up and bit him right there. Look at that. Fall down. And then DJ Turner right there. First ever sack in the NFL, man. Good for you, dude. I bet you didn't think coming into the game you had no corner cats called. You were going to sack Lamar Jackson. It's got to be a pretty cool feeling. But easiest sack in Bengals history right there. All right, now, you thought, talking about the bull issues, you want to talk about having issues, having anchor issues. I want you to watch this guy right here. All right, Osai right here. I want you to watch what he does to him. That is just taking a dude and saying, I'm going to run you right back in. That's what I told you. Somebody got in his ear and said, man, you ain't showing up. He showed up. And again, you got Hendrickson over here kind of doing the same thing, not to the same extent, but, getting him pushed back. But, I mean, that's a tough spot to be in right there if you're Lamar Jackson. So, again, there's some things right there I think that there's things to build on in this game. It's not all just, world, the sky's not falling. All right, now the Ravens' run game. Again, they have a really, really good run game, and there's some things that happen. And again, remember I told you a little while ago I was talking about Miles Murphy. He came up too far. If you're the quarterback player, you don't have to necessarily run and go get him right now, especially if you know there's really nobody else in this area right here, for that gap. Because really, now, if you look at it from the end zone, so gap, 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 gap. He's really got that gap. And you'll see when it's all said and done, he's going to go here and then come all the way back. Now, was he expecting him to come all the way back? Because he's actually got to play the quarterback. No, but again, you always see guys kind of feather down in there. And again, it's just little things like that allow, these runs to pop like that. So again, just going upfield a little too quickly. Now, this right here, this was an interesting play. I guess they're set. They're set long enough. But here's the thing. That's the tight end. I mentioned this in the preview show. That's a tackle out here. They're causing issues with gaps when you put a tight end over here and you got to have coverage and things like that. So right now they're going to end up with two guys outside of this tight end. And I don't know if he was trying to play the quarterback or what the case is, but again, it looks to me like he's kind of doing that feather, that kind of shuffle down in, and it's just nobody actually gets to him. But you got two guys outside over here playing like the quarterback to pull. And I'm not real sure what was going on there. Again, it was they got, you can see how quickly they broke the huddle right here, or however they got lined up, and they're unbalanced over here. So yeah, they're having to readjust. And again, that's why you do that. That's why you see teams, they'll be in their huddle right here, and they all go running up there, but they're in an unbalanced set. That's because it doesn't allow the defense to just sit there and look at it and just get lined up the way they want to. They want them to have to think about it. Now, this is a blitz into a bubble, and I think this is a really good job here. I believe this is Hilton here. But if you watch this, he's blitzing, but he also sees that guy go over here. Well, the problem is, like, normally if just take this guy. See, he's running over here. He's becoming the third receiver. So normally if you had a third receiver over here, he would stay out here and he would blitz. Well, the problem is now he's running on the move and he becomes a third receiver. So he's blitzing. He like, oh, crap, I got to go here. Well, the thing is, like right now, Lamar Jackson should pull this. Well, if he pulls your whole thing's about giving it on the run, but really if he was going to pull it, he should throw it right here. Well, the problem is I think he sees him stop right there, and he gives it and just, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, you can see like Lamar's like, just take it, dude. Like, again, good play by Hilton to play the bubble. So now coverage wise, all right, this was some things that happened here. And again, this is a scramble, and I believe this is where Cam Taylor-Britt gets hurt. But again, you just kind of got to stay with your guys here. Pretty good job by the scramble. And you can see he dives right here, and I think that might be where he hurt his quad, or maybe hurt his quad trying to turn around right there. I don't know when that happened, but again, you can see over here. Look, they've got their eyes. They got their eyes over here to this side for some reason. They've got a ton of people over here. They got 4 over 3 over here. They've kind of got 3 over 2 over here, but it's really man over here. But good job by Baltimore of making it work. But again, that's and that's how close these plays are. He looks like he's a lot more open than he is, but I mean, that's how close that play is right there. So that's tough coverage, yes, but no, I'm not sure what this celebration is right here. That trust fall gone bad. I don't know. I don't even think Zay Flowers knows what it is. But anyway, moving on. All right, quarters coverage. So when you're playing quarters, okay, and so quarters here. So quarters right here. This guy right here, these two are really responsible. If there's nothing here, these two guys will take that. If something is starting to show up over here, this guy's got to respect that and pass this off. So as this comes over here, he's got to pass that off. That becomes basically man-to-man right here. And, yeah, is he getting run past just a little bit? But he's right there with him. And, honestly, if this was an on-the-point throw by Jackson right here, I think Cam Taylor-Britt's got pretty good coverage right there. That's pretty damn good coverage right there. So I'm just wanting to throw that out there. This one gets overthrown. Could he have caught it? Sure. It would have had to have been a dime, but I think that was pretty good coverage based on, again, he's thinking right here, I might have help. Nope, I'm on the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Hit the wrong button there. He goes, I might have help, but he doesn't. And there goes that one. So pretty good job by those guys getting that done. Some explosive passes. I think this one's not really explosive, but this was like the second play. No, it's actually the first play of the game. Very first play of the game. So what do you think these guys are thinking? Well, we got to stop the run. Okay, well, here goes a guy pulling, down, blocking, run, gets the linebacker to step up just enough. And then here goes this instead of like the Bengals ran the guy across, instead of running him across, they kind of run this little sail route right here, right behind him. And you can see right here, here's that look I was telling you about just a second ago, where those two guys would cover him. So, at this point right now, should he have fallen off, I'm not sure exactly what their coverage rules are on that, but that was first play of the game. But that's what they were trying to get done. They were trying to play into the whole thing of like, we're a running team. All right, now motion right here. What does this motion show? So this motion shows man. Okay, so look, there's a linebacker outside. So anytime a linebacker is outside and he motions back in, you're thinking they were probably playing man. Now they've got 3 over the top of 2 over here. All right. So again, this was like last week when Logan Wilson turned this way and somebody ran in right behind him. There's something that they're seeing based upon that look right there to go 3 over 2 on this side and just play straight man over on this side. But again, you can see right there, I mean, they got the ball into one of their speedier guys' hands, and just all they did was just run a little pivot route, but there was nobody there to help because all the help was right there. And I believe that's Mark Andrews they were taking away right there. So again, they had a plan. They were going to say, you know what, tight end is not going to beat Mark Andrews is not going to beat us in this game. Well, again, there you go with that, and that's why that one got thrown where it got thrown right there. All right, so now we're talking about a high-low. All right, now I want you to watch this tackle, though, by Jordan Battle. Now, Jordan Battle's a deep safety right here. And this right here is a legit fundamental tackle. But, again, this is something, I mean, this is tough. You know, it's the same thing I was talking about with the Ravens defense in the preview show. There's like some of these zones have there's like a void in the middle right here. And if you high-low it, so they're reading this guy. If that guy plays up like he does, throw it behind him. If this guy stays back a little bit, you just drop it down to him. And they end up doing that. And then I want you to watch this from the end zone, but again, how is that any different than the Logan Wilson tackle from earlier? It's not. There's not a whole lot of difference to that. So good tackle by Battle. And Battle did a lot of this stuff, man. I posted something on X recently this morning. Talking about a routine, or he made a routine tackle on Lamar Jackson, and sometimes the routine is good. Is it a routine play? Yes, it's a routine. That's a routine tackle right there. He's a deep safety. Yes, you should have had him tackle before that, but when you make the routine look good, I believe it was Frank Pollock that actually used to say all the time, master the mundane. If you master the things that you get bored with, those are the things, because if you take care of those little things, you get really good at them and you get bored doing them. You should get bored doing the things like this. Get good at that. But again, that's where you can become a really good player. Last one here, man. You want to talk about some unlucky bounces here. Now, they got called for illegal contact or something here. I'm not sure where it was because that got thrown pretty early. But if you watch this from the end zone, if this ball doesn't get tipped, that's probably behind him. I mean, maybe it's not. I mean, but watch. I mean, this is just about as unlucky as you can get. Like, oh, great. Hey, man, you made a heck of a play. Oh, let's just drop it right into Nelson Aguilar's hands right here. Oh, there you go. All right, buddy, go run for a touchdown. I mean, but it's just the point of even when you do something good, sometimes there's games, man, that's just ain't working for you. So the Bengals had one of those. Again, there's some things here. Again, I just want to point out too, I mean, there's good things happening. Like I said, the safety play is getting better. Some of the guys up front, I mean, when you get Hubbard back, Osai played better. There's some things going on up front. Again, losing B.J. Hill, losing Burrow. Yeah, it's going to suck. Now, I will say Jerome Simpson was better because two things. Jerome Simpson landed in bounds and Jerome Simpson landed it. So, Romy, if you're out there, if Romy, if you're watching this by any means, Jerome Simpson, if you see this, I'm telling you, bro, you way outdid the Ravens version of what they tried to do about you right there. So, giving you a little love there. So again, I didn't want to bring anybody down because everybody's already down. I just want to bring some things up, man. Watch the game a little bit because the game wasn't even 24 hours ago, guys. I mean, the game didn't even start 23 and a half hours, 22 and a half hours ago. I mean, so looking forward, the Bengals have a little mini bye, which is probably good for them. They probably need it. Get some of those guys that are out back, playing Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh is struggling to score points right now. I think everybody knows that. Their defense is playing very well, though. That's the thing. Their defense is playing very, very well. With Burrow out, how many points are they going to score? They just got to get enough, man. I mean, but the run game has got to continue to show up. If the run game continues to show up, I think it'll be all right. And if they can get that defense, just come back out of this little mini bye, rested. Do the fundamental things right. And, really, I think it could be something that could make this thing turn around in a way that people aren't expecting it to. And I think really Cincinnati fans, to take a page out of Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax, guys. I mean, yes, it's not ideal, but the thing is everything's still ahead of you. Everything's still ahead of you. And I think things can get it done. Looking back in the chat here, just towards the end here, Jess, yes, he did. Stuck the landing and saluted the judges with Jerome. back in I believe that was 2011, somewhere around that range. He actually ran, just so y'all know, Jerome Simpson ran the wrong route on that play. A lot of people don't know that, but he ran the wrong route on that play and just happened to find him and did his thing. Bengals captain coach this help, saw that Jake can have some fun. Some things to fix. Yes. Listen, Browning's going to be okay. All right. AJ McCarron is going to be okay. Get the ball to your playmakers. Let them do their thing. Defense, step up, hold the teams, because there's been some teams, and one of them was a team that just beat the Bengals. If you remember, back when Marvin Lewis was the D coordinator for the Ravens back in, I believe, 2000, I don't think they scored a touchdown in like 4 or 5 straight games on the Ravens, and they were Super Bowl champions. So point being, if your defense can step up and play, get by with whatever offense you have. I believe the Miami Hurricanes did the same thing. They had something where the Miami Hurricanes defense outscored their offense in whatever year that was, 2002. And so things can happen. So appreciate everybody coming in. I'm going to have a Steelers preview at some point coming up in the next week. Reason I did this on Friday, we are taking a family vacation next week, and where I'm going, we don't have good Wi-Fi. Kind of like they said in Back to the Future, where we're going, we don't need roads. Well, where I'm going, they don't got Wi-Fi, so they do, but it doesn't work very well. So I will see you guys on a preview show. It will be pre-recorded, but we'll come back live after the Pittsburgh game for sure. Tuesday nights, it'll get back on the roll for Tuesday nights, and then we'll see you then. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. And if you guys want to interact online, on X, on Instagram, on any of these different platforms, please share it out. Chatterbox Sports. Appreciate you guys. Reed in the background. Everybody give Reed some love. Reed's kicking ass for us back there. And I know he's grieving as well. Him and Casey we're grieving pretty hard today. But appreciate Chatterbox. Give them a like, give them a follow, give me a like and a follow, whatever it is. And